Hey guys, it's me Chan Dragon, and today I will do another fun discussion, and this time about Eula, since Eula finally come back from the graveyard and will get rerun soon, over a year, and finally get rerun though. So the topic is it about is it Eula right now at current set? Is it really bad? Is she right now struggle so much? Like especially if you talk about physical, because we know that Eula is physical, and most of people say like physical not really good or something like that. Is it really true? So in here I'll try to explain through my experience, and my Eula is C1 with Wolf Gravestone with not so great artifacts though. So through this experience I will try to share a little bit, is it really bad or not. So let's get started. Before we jump directly, is it Eula really that bad at current state? How about we know first what is the current state of Eula? And we start first with the more general, which is the physical damage in or the physical team in general state right now, which is first. Basically, physical doesn't have so much changes or upgrade. Since Eula until right now, the additional only Mika, and Mika didn't change that much though. So even though you decide to use Mika and without Mika, it doesn't makes kind of a lot difference. It's just super small. It in fact it just feels like only substitution. It's kind of like if you want to use Mika, yes. If you don't want to use Mika or you want to use Rosarian set, it's fine though. Unless maybe you have C6 Mika, then probably it will be a little bit better. But other than that, it's pretty much around the same. So it doesn't have so much changes. And then because of that, the continuation is that physical still lack of team variation, that with this current standard of hard content like Spiral Beast, it's pretty much feels the physical team kinda stale in terms of variation, and upgrade feels so stale. It's actually same with Geo though. Doesn't have so much additional. So both Geo and physical right now is in current kinda stale period. And the next point, which is backload damage right now feels good and bad in the same sense for the current state, especially if you want to talk about the hard content like Spiral Abyss. And if some of you not familiar what is backload damage basically has the same concept with Eula Burst, where after you use the burst, it will kinda accumulate, or you need to charge the stack. After you charge the stack until certain period of time, it will accumulate at once and it will hit or explode with the high kind of damage or very high damage though. So it can maybe explode like 200k 400k after you kind of charge it though. So this kind of type of damage, it's good if it's you hit the enemy right, or even like it will be better if it's crit. But what if you kind of missed, or even it didn't crit? You probably the most painful if it didn't hit, that means zero damage. If you hit but didn't crit, you lose a lot of damage. So it feels like the gap between very good and very bad is just so wide though. So you will end up that maybe you need to retry again though to get like crit and it hit the enemy. And other additional thing is that in Eula Burst, the AoE is also not that big though. It's pretty small. So when Eula Burst is about to explode, when enemy keep moving and it didn't hit the target, that means also so annoying though. So you have to also pay attention to stay close to the enemy. So it's also another annoying things though regarding the Eula backload damage.
What the heck?
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And that's why I feel like this type of damage backload, it's very good if the enemy don't move so much, don't really that agile, and it will be good if the enemy is also not too much. So it's kind of good if it's kind of like boss or only 2 or 3 enemies. But if they kind of have multiple waves or a lot of enemies or they're very agile, you really feel so struggle in here though. And the next point is actually still regarding an enemy, which is also a lot of enemy right now until 3. At least 7. A lot of enemy resist to physical. I don't know why they make a lot of enemy resist to physical, especially the mechanical thingy. And in here basically it's reduced Eula damage though if they resist to physical, which is like it's not as sound as bad as you think. it's in the end it's still manageable, but you will feel like your Eula deals less damage in here. So it kind of makes like if you want to get like a showcase or screenshot number, it makes less satisfying though. And I want to talk about it a little bit about Spiral Beast, so if you don't care, just skip it. So basically, I already tell you before about the type of enemy that agile, like not single target, multi waves, and a lot of like enemy right now like resist to physical, and that's actually those kind of type of enemy they put right now a lot in Spiral Beast. So it's kind of also, I will say that the enemy in Spiral Beast run is not really friendly for Eula. So it kind of makes the situation of Eula is bad. It's not because the Eula is also that struggle from the physical, but it's also struggle from the enemy that they put, or or at least the kind of format that they put on the Spiral Abyss right now. That I would say it's not really friendly for Eula, especially 3.7 Spiral Abyss. It's basically quite nightmare for Eula. I cannot even do one whole run for Eula. Maybe I can if I have a lot of time, like 5 hours to want to try, but I cannot though. So the only thing I can do, I do two different runs, and I able to make like all of them 3-star though. But other than that, if I just want to do one whole run, it's not possible for me with my only like 2-3 hours playing game per day though. And lastly, for me, if you want to get a stable clearance, you really need high investment for Eula in order to kill like hard content like Spiral Beast or the last event, because it's that if you really just rely on the burst, you really rely on the backload damage, that means you really rely on RNG though. So you have to get the momentum where the enemy gather, you hit crit, and you get the high kind of stack, so you can get very high damage though. If you're really relying on that, I can guarantee you only rely on keep trying though, which is pretty frustrating though. So in order for you to get rid or kind of reduce this kind of RNG, you need to have also another like high damage from normal attack, skill, or even like from the team itself, which is from the other character. So they have to be fully built, and perhaps only Eula have the 5-star weapon, if consolation of very godly artifacts, because if not, then you only rely on RNG from the burst itself though, and it can be like so annoying though. So now we move to the main deal, which is it actually physical running really bad, and especially Eula really bad right now in that current state. So take note, this is based on my experience using Eula from debut until right now, so this can be very subjective, and don't take this as a 100% answer, but more into reference and advice. And I only use also couple observation from others, so it can be biased also. But first thing that I want to say, if you really want a character with minimal investment, let's say you don't want to spend so much resource like the talents books or the XP books, or you don't want to even spend kind of stuff for refinement material for your weapon, or even you don't want to spend more primogems for consolation or weapon for your Eula, or you don't have dedication to farm like artifacts like 50 CC something like that, then I suggest to don't go for Eula, because if not, you will feel Eula always kind of feel underwhelming if you don't have those such kind of dedication to put investment on Eula though. You will feel like, even I can say it's bad though, you will feel Eula feels so bad in that case though. So if you kind of want just like minimal investment and lack of dedication, I don't suggest to pull Eula. You maybe go the character like Nahida, which is less maintenance, or kind of Kokomi, that less like kind of effort to build, or Cookie and something like that. But if you really have dedication to kind of farming 50 CV artifact for your Eula, you have a good resource of management and manage to make your Eula until level 90 triple crown, or like maybe double crown, or you even like have a good resource management in your primogem, so you preserve a lot of primogem, and then you decide to pull for the weapon for Eula itself, which is Song of Broken Spine, or at least get like Wolfgrave Stone, or even you get like extra mile, you become Giga Chat, really dedicate yourself into Eula to get consolation at least like C1, something like that, then it actually will not feel so bad, at least I will say. What do you mean in here will not feel so bad? This is based on my experience, okay? The worst case, because right now my Eula sets I have C1 with Wolfgrave Stone, and my artifact's still not that very good, because I don't know why I never get a crit damage circlet on Pale Flame. I don't know why, but I feel like the worst thing that I can do with my Eula right now is that I still able to clear 36 star with Eula, but maybe I cannot finish in one whole run though. Which mean like one whole run is that I cannot use the same team to finish the whole Spiral Abyss. I have to use different teams with Eula in order to finish this Spiral Abyss though. So let's say the first team with Eula that I pair is the classic one, which is Eula, Raiden, Rosaria, and Bennett. But the other one I used with Eula, Raiden, but I put instead of Rosaria, I put Kazuo, which is weird, but at least it's work, and I put Benetto. And yeah, it's still able to do 36 star, but with different runs though. And that's the worst thing that happened though. And other things that happened, the worst case is that I keep retry though, like probably 50 times, 20 times to kinda able to get the right time so I can get 36 star. Because the most retry is actually I get is from the Conquer piece. I guess I did like 20 over 20 times, and for me to get the very best time, I think it took me 50 retry to get a very good just like showcase. But if you just want to clear without a good showcase number, then actually probably around 20 retries though, if you maybe luck, maybe first try then. So something like so at the worst case, yeah, for me you cannot finish with the one whole run, but using different teams with Eula, but still can. And also another like keep retrying until you get like enough damage and enough clear times. So yeah, that's actually the worst case. And I'm to say like, yeah, it's not so bad though. C1 Eula with Wolf Gravestone, yeah, it's still a lot of investment, but if you have those kind of dedication, actually it's not feel that bad. And realistically for free to play, it's still able to achieve, because I see a lot of free to play players have C2 Raiden with engulfing lightning, and I think it's still achievable if you really giga chat and want to go for Eula, like getting cons with weapon 5 star, and then you get a godly artifact. Like, I think you can still clear though. The only thing that maybe probably hard for you to make is that how to make your Eula can clear faster though, without like keep retrying. And I think that's hard to avoid though, because I think when you decide to use Eula, you will deal a lot of retry, just because Eula is kind of type of backload damage, which is relying on high burst damage, which it's involving RNG at the same time, so it will involve you on keep retrying. That's it though. I think people just exaggerate with those kind of things. So yeah, it is up to agree though. Eula always not the best option, especially with this kind of rough time for Eula. But it's not as bad as you think. I can even say though, if you want to put dedication and if you can tolerate all the annoyingness from Eula though. So in the end, it's really back to you. Can you tolerate all the Eula problem and annoyingness? Can you tolerate that? If you can, basically will not feel so bad though, and you can finish pretty much all the content like Spiral Abyss and stuff. So yeah, it's back to you. So thank you so much also for watching this video. If you like this kind of video, feel free to hit subscribe button and like, and I will see you next time, and I hope you have a very good pull in your Eula. Bye bye.